Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a little impromptu. I just wanted to stream, get out there a little. I'm going to go through a little of Alex Toth's work on creepy and eerie. I'm going to go through a little. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to just to skim through a little here and there. Incredible work that he did here. Check out the cover alone, and look at that. Creepy presents Alex Toth, the definitive collection of the artist's work from Creepy and Eerie. Um, that's the cover, title page, collaborators. He has all these writers that did the stories. And again, what a gutsy thing to do here. Just that alone, guys. The shadows. You know what I mean? It's like, is that her eyes? Is that over her eyes, nose, mouth? Okay. For initially when you look at it, it's like, holy shit. It's just gutsy. And it was done on purpose. So here's a forward. Here's a little drawing they did. Check this out, guys. It's like a storyboard. The guy's running the car behind him, jumps there, flips right over, and then does a dance after the car crashes in. It's awesome. Um, and then you got this grave undertaking. I don't know. Now, because of the way he wrote his name there, I'm thinking this is probably one of the earliest ones, if not the earliest one that he did, because he stopped calling himself Alexander. After a while, it was always Alex Toth, and then just simply Toth. So it must have been early on here. Could have been his first, creepy or eerie story that Archie Goodwin wrote. And look at this, guys. Just looking and peering into this window. Everything is just rock solid. Everything is just right on. Let me go through here. Okay. And I believe he did the lettering as well, even though this looks like an early take of his lettering. But man, look at this stuff here. It's beautiful. And I'm doing a double page just to go through it here. I think it's the best way to show the comics on here because, again, I don't want just a simple page. And again, look, guys, look at this even. Everything here. That barrel right there. Look at this guy. Look at that character's face. Look at that forehead. Look at that cart. Look at it. It's leaning to the left. Looks like it's about to crash almost. It's that old. Even these homes are angled a little off kilter. And again, the choices he makes, like you're peering into this thing right here. Look at this from a window looking out onto the street at that car. It's like someone's watching it. Just incredibly intelligent ways of doing this. And this also, a silhouette here, a person's peering out of the window there. And then the vampires come out. Look at that. Hey, Daniel. How are you? Hey, Bosh, where do I order pigment from? There's a link actually. If you're on YouTube, there's a link in the chat at fundmycomic.com. Fundmycomic.com. You can order any reward you want, just the comic itself or whatever else you want. So it's fundmycomic.com. Just look for Bosch Falston, Pigman #1, or you just link on this here. Appreciate it. Appreciate the interest. I'm gonna make my pitch later as well. So if you want to wait for that, get the lowdown, we'll do that. But thanks. It's another story that he did here about an aliens coming down. Look at this also, guys, the way he designs this all. Look at this. Those are some pretty damn scary aliens. Look at that. And again, he did all the lettering here as well. So this is when he started. Okay, so the first story he did for Creepy or Eerie was Alexander Toth. Now it's down to Alex Toth. Again, that must have been his first one. I think. Hail, Jimmy. How's it going, man? How are you on this Sunday night? Just looking through some Alex Toth, not some, actually all of his creepy and eerie work from the. I'm a, I'm thinking the '70s. It has to be the '70s. It could have been the first one. Could have been late '60s. Could have been, but I'm thinking this is the '70s. The bulk of it, at least. And he penciled and inked all the stories except for he inked, I believe, two of them, which is interesting. He only inked them, and of course, he made the artist look great. Made it look like himself. Um, he's such a strong, finished artist, and that to me makes a difference. His finished work is what makes the difference to me. That he's the greatest of all time because the care with which he took with his art. I'm not even sure if he ever did it monthly. He may have did it when he first started, maybe, but most of his career was just made. Excellent, Jimmy. Sunday Night Chill. Hopefully, you were doing well. Doing well. Thank you very much. Just did this little impromptu stream, looking through the master's work and just a chat, with you guys. I definitely want to get out there a little more, stream a little more, get the hang of this a little more. It's it's part of the entire thing. You know, I don't know. I think some guys maybe they might start resenting it, like, well, I don't want to stream. It's like that's part of the job. It really is. That's part of it. Promotion on X, on YouTube, showing your work, looking at the stories and art that you're passionate about as well, like Toth. I mean, I can always talk about Toth, um, but I definitely want to promote my work. I want to show you guys. Um, Thanks, Jimmy. Jimmy tells Daniel, besides Pigman, check out Tip 1. It's a great read. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate that. And Daniel, Tip 1 is available on the campaign as well. It's part of the rewards that you can order in addition to the Pigman comic. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm lucky. Most people who get my work like it. That's incredibly gratifying to me. Um, I love my work. I try to give it the best I can. I try to care for it as much as I possibly can before I let it go and give the best effort that I can. It's very important for me, and people seem to respond to that very well. And again, very, very gratifying because you'll get some it's shit, but usually it's those who can't say exactly why. They just like me for my politics mainly. That's usually what it is. Or if I, if they came after me a certain way and I went after them a certain way, people don't like that. They think there's a one-way street. They can trash you and you not hit them back. I always hit back if I think it's worth it. Sometimes I ignore, but sometimes I do hit back. But look at this, guys. Look at this composition here. From here, look at that. The alleyway there goes into breaks out these panels here. I don't know, man. It's just to me, look at this also. The angle, the shadows, the strength of these shadows, the near silhouette here. I mean, I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a master at work here. This is something that you rarely, if ever, saw in regular mainstream comics. He took the time, he took the thought, he took the effort, he made it so no one else was doing the work like he was doing. And he was doing these for, I don't know what the timing was. I mean, they were usually short stories, 8 pages usually, maybe less. But man, I love this stuff here. This is an artist in complete engagement with the form and complete engagement and not skimping on anything. I think it's overstated that Toth is simple, even though the movie based on him is called Simplicity. But I think it's overstated because that sometimes you get guys who feign to be inspired by Toth, like Joe Quesada. He's Toth is. I'm sorry, Joe. I don't see Toth in your work at all. You lay it on way too thick. That Daredevil father thing was embarrassment. Making Daredevil like I don't know what he was doing. Skinny legs, a huge trunk, making him fat almost, like Quesada. And but that was what got Quesada's eye about my work because he saw that Toth loved my comic table for one, and that the cover. It was a pretty striking cover. It's right there behind me, and he responded to it. But I don't believe that he's a big fan of Toth. Nothing in his work says that. Not in the layouts, not in the way he drew, not in the finished work. Um, I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I wouldn't be against maybe if I ever bump into him and just ask him flat out, okay, come on, come clean. Do you really love Alex Toth? And if you do, why? And so on. Because, there was one magazine, it's in one of my Toth videos. I did 21 of them. One of them, I still got to do more, guys. I got to go through all the art. I just been putting it off, to be honest. I just haven't found a way to, I think, make the audio work better because now my audio is better. My audio was not good before. You heard everything in my place, the sounds here and there, and it's not good. I want to make sure that the sound is really, really, really solid before I do that because I want to do the actual books themselves, not just the digital stuff here. Digital stuff here is great because I can just speak and it's no problem, and I can just. Jimmy says customer connection and engagement is the business in crowdfunding. It is, and we have to embrace it. I don't care if you're not a businessman, if you don't fancy yourself that. Once you self-publish, you're a businessman, like it or not. If you're a crowdfunder, you're a businessman, like it or not. You have to get your work out to readers, those who are on the fence, those who don't know you, those who do know you, might not even like you, but you might win them over by the work, hopefully, because that's what should be the key in the end, the work itself. That's what should keep people coming back, regardless of anything else. It's the work. So here's Toth going off, doing his thing like nobody. And just interesting compositions, the panels, the silhouettes. All of these stories so far have been written by Archie Goodwin, which is fantastic. I mean, Archie Goodwin was a great editor, a great writer too, and he did work with Walt Simonson on Star Wars. He did work with Al Williamson. What was that comic strip? I forgot the name, but Al Williams is a hell of an artist too, man. Wow. I do have one of my files, one of my folders with Al Williams's work, so I can show that also one time. That Empire Strikes Back adaptation is one of the greatest adaptations ever. I did not like though the quote unquote remaster one where they had the digital colors. They botched it up. The guy, it's funny, it's interesting with him. He is a detailed artist, but he's also very simple and realistic. It doesn't mess around with faces in terms of it doesn't have to make 1,000 lines on the face like some artists. He keeps it pretty simple. The background, the details, the technology, the circuitry, the electronics, all that is detailed as hell. The ships, but outside of that, not it's not the case really. Something about Toth also when he makes the hands, he makes the most naturalistic hands and the way they're always placed on things. Notice that, guys, if you check out his work, something about the placement of his fingers and hands. There was one teacher, Howard Post, one teacher I had in the School of Visual Arts. So funny. He said that from Roy Crane to Kniff to Noel Sickles to Toth, that they drew hands like carrots. And then they all did it. It's funny. It's not always the case, though. I could tell where he mentioned it. Like, there was a Superman and Batman special, annual, I believe, annual 10 or 11, World's Finest, maybe, that Alex Toth penciled and that Terry Austin inked, which was awesome. And there's a little of that there. You can tell. I say, okay, I know what he says. But it's not always the case. I mean, these hands don't look like carrots. You got everything there. Everything is where it belongs. And again, I'm not overly defensive when it comes to things like that about the Master of Toth. Even the other day, I showed something which is actually in this book where he went way too much with a dialogue on his one page, just way, way, way too much. He should have pulled back and took the time. If it took a day, it was worth it just to whittle it down a little. And again, I'll see stuff of my own. Like, okay, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that later. I'm gonna fix that later. When I let it go, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best I can do at that time. But it'll be nice, now look at it and make it better. Just make it better. Look at these pages also. Just I don't know. I love it. Looks like an old book here. The way he inks that, thin, thick, and so on. Look at that candle, man. Strong silhouettes there. A shadow hitting the floor and the wall and the door. These faces with backlighting. It's just strong stuff, guys. I went through this the other day, so it's wonderful. I mean, wonderful piece. Not written by Archie Goodwin. This one, I don't think it is. This one, no. Jerry Boudreau. Jerry Boudreau. And it looks like there's maybe some influence there from Toth as well. This is great here, but Toth did letter this. You could tell that's the lettering. And right here, guys. Now, since he didn't write it, okay. Since he didn't write it, I guess I can fault, technically speaking, the writer. But in the end, it's Alex Toth lettering it. He has a little more control of it at the end, and he could have maybe found a way, add one more page, and make this panel the dominant one, maybe from the top to bottom. Because what I've been doing with my current project is I'm doing a lot of long panels down the page, whether it's in the middle or the side or the sides. So I'm thinking a few of these panels could have been brought here. Maybe, even 3 panels here, I'm sorry, you couldn't see the arrow. I don't think, like 3 panels here, 1, 2, 3, right? Those 3, and then this one, a long one coming way down, and making the dialogue with a little more healthy space. Now, the word balloons themselves, he did well because you always got one thing I did learn in one of those classes is that my first attempt at lettering was horrific. And when you're not conscious of these things, you're going to mess up because you're going to make the balloons very close to the words. And I was reminded by a pro, breathe, give it breath, let it breathe a little, the letters. Always put a little space around it, which Toth did here. So on that level, it's good lettering, but way too much cropped in. Just way too much. Again, this deserved another page. That's all. But, technically speaking, it was the writer who wrote that. And he probably put all that on one page. But Toth, being Alex Toth, he could have said, you know what? Let's stretch that out a little. And I don't think the guy would have minded too much. At least I don't think so. Who knows? Sometimes people don't know who they're working with. Maybe this young writer says, who are you? It's like, who are you? It's Alex Toth. He's a master. Look at this also. This guy is caught in this room, ensnared. And he's trying to get out. He's trying to figure something out. He can't quite do it. Look at that. Look at those beautiful silhouettes. That's awesome. Again, these hands, the fingers, something incredibly real and naturalistic about it. The way, I don't know, there's something, I just love it. The fingers here, the hands there. Daniel Levin. Hey, Daniel. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. I'll order tonight. P.S. I watched your interview with Stasso earlier today, and with care, they're the biggest cowards. They are. And thanks again. Yeah, but what was so cool about seeing that, because it was months after the attack, 2 months after the attack, 2 months after the Garland attack, where we almost got killed by these jihadists. I was invited by Stasso's producer, and I told him, I said, look, as I told everyone else, if you're going to have me on about my cartoon, about this particular subject, not about anything else, but about this particular subject, show my cartoon, or I'm not going to call him. He goes, we'll show it. I said, I've been told that, and it never happened. And that's why I stopped, going on these networks. Again, I told MSNBC, CBS, NBC, CNN, ABC, all these channels, because when Greta Van Susteren reneged from showing the cartoon at the last minute, which I was pissed because they said they would and then they didn't. And I said, it's important for you guys to show the cartoon because of this simple fact. It's a simple act of defiance. It's a simple drawing. It's not obscene. It's just showing Muhammad telling you can't draw me, and me saying that's why I draw you. That's it. Um, I don't care how butthurt Muslims are over it. It doesn't matter. And it's not an obscene thing. I'm not having a pig bang Muhammad, which people ask me to do, and they asked to pay me for it. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, you could do it. I'm not opposed to anyone else doing it, but I just don't do that. It's not my thing. I don't draw obscene stuff. You're a pussy, you're a coward. They actually called me that after I turned down money. And I'm not one to, usually turn down money. I want to make money off my work, and I need to make money off it, but I'm not gonna do that. It's just not my thing. Um, anyway, Hill, goody two shoes. Glad to have you here. So Daniel, yeah, the cool thing about that was that they lived up to their word. Stossel producer. I give them big time kudos because no one else did it. Nobody else on mainstream television news networks did that except John Stossel on Fox. Nobody. And not only did they show it, guys, they animated it. They showed it on the air, and then they emphasized my words. You can't draw me. What? You can't draw me, right? And they made Muhammad's balloons come up big on the screen and then pull back. And then when I say, that's why I draw you, they pulled it up and pulled it. And then the coolest bonus was when they had a member of CARE who's lying her ass off about free speech and Muslims support free speech. It's a complete lie. And while she's talking, he showed my cartoon again. Meaning, her whole crew, that whole gang of stealth jihadists, were watching her, appearance, right? Because that's their girl. Like, hey, hey, and they're forced to see my cartoon. I love that. I thought of that. I don't know if anyone else mentioned that to me. As I was watching, I was like, oh man, she sees my cartoon here, and they do as well. Her whole gang. Hilarious. But yeah, they're up to no good. They're stealth jihadists. That's what they are. And their purpose is here. The origins are from Hamas. Their purpose in America is to try to make criticism of Islam illegal. Nothing short than that. Nothing. That's why they're here, to make criticism of Islam illegal. It's not an exaggeration. That's a fact. It's terrible, but that's where we are. So yeah, I'm just going through this great art by Alex Toth, creepy and eerie comics from the, I believe, has to be the 70s. I don't think it's any other thing here. Look at this also. Story and art by Alex Toth. Now this one is a story and art by Alex Toth. Look at this. Man, I got that awesome piece also behind me, guys. Yeah, Muslim Brotherhood as well, sure, no doubt. I mean, to me, they're all intermingled, the entire crew, Muslim Brotherhood, and then goes from that to Al Qaeda, members from there, and this and that, and CARE, and it's all of one piece. It's all one enemy. And that's why the closest I've ever come to using terms other than Islam to describe the Islamic enemy's ideology, and that's their ideology. It's not alleged deviant forms of it. It's Islam as such. Is when I use the term. It's one guy, John David Lewis, a great man, a great writer, a great thinker, an objectivist who understood the issue of Islam and jihad. Man, he died. Anyway, he said, he used the term state Islam. Better than most, I still reject it because of this. It's not just state Islam. We're talking about these stealth groups in America, in the West. We're talking about individual bloggers. We're talking about individuals on X and YouTube pushing this evil on us. So they're not state Islam. So my thing was, I think the best way to describe the movement, the Islamic movement, not just the ideology of the jihadists is Islam as such. There's nothing in Islam that stays the hand of jihadists. Nothing. It's a lie. When they say otherwise, they're lying. It is organized Islam. Like, Islam as such is bad, it's evil, but organized Islam is even worse because that's when you have state actors, you have dictators, Islamic dictators, you have bloggers, you have YouTubers, you have X accounts, huge X accounts pushing this shit. You have whores in the West, non-Muslims, pushing this as well. Like the BBC. An example, the BBC the other day, Let me find it quick. The BBC the other day was talking about how they put it. They said EID, which is a think about that. It sounds like an EID, like one of those bombs. Anyway, EID celebration. This is the BBC, the UK. Okay, the alleged English news, which is propaganda because it's government run and funded. EID celebration can be lonely for Muslim reverts. By that, they mean this. So, this is my quote post. I said, the fully Islamized BBC calls idiot converts to Islam, quote unquote, reverts, in complete alignment with Islam's conceit. They were all born Muslim. Guys, the conceit of Islam is that we're all born Muslim and we've all been corrupted away from it, whether by ourselves or our loved ones and parents and family and so on. But our natural state is to be on our knees to Allah. That's natural state. And it's such a presumptuous thing to impose on others. But that's the thinking, in complete alignment with Islam's conceit that we're all born Muslim and that we all should revert back to it. This is enemy propaganda in wartime, not by Muslims, but by those they wanted to conquer and have. Because the left has never ever put up a fight against jihad. The left calls themselves anti-war. First of all, they're not. They are always pro-war, but they're not anti-jihad at all. At all. It is flutterbat. It is grotesque, and it's tough. It's tough to hold on to hope for my friends in the UK that they can make it out, and I still think they can. I think the people in the end will make the change. Rip these scum out of power, these anti-British scum out of power. But when you have something, there was a stat. It's hard to believe. Is it 30 people a day are arrested on? Their whole goal is to arrest people about their social media posts. Guys, that's a totalitarian state. Nothing less. That's a totalitarian state. That's what it is. So every time the left gets in power, our freedoms are in the balance. No country can continue to do that because eventually it'll be all full totalitarian at that point with no elections and no this and that. It just will. It will. We lucked out this time in America. And why? Because the American people, they stepped up and we saved our country. We saved our country. And not only that, but now we are dismantling the left's machinery to do what they've done for decades now, to corrupt us. We've dismantled it. We are dismantling it. By the time this is done, it's going to be a massive change to the point where they got to start from a lot lower level than they used to. Our corrupt government, a lot less power, a lot less influence, and they keep going. They keep going the way they're going because look, people say, "Oh, they're going to win one day." Yeah, but they're going to have to lie, and they've lied. They've lied themselves out in a lot of ways. Newsom coming out there and trying to be moderate. We know he's not. We know he's a communist. He's not. He's not moderate. He's a communist. He's just like, how can I lie better? Their whole thing is, how can I lie better? How can I lie more effectively? That's what they're counting on. That's the only thing they have. Like, how can I lie to Americans more effectively? That's all they got. Daniel writes, they don't condone, but they'll never condemn. The wordplay is so gross. Yeah. Yeah. But we know though, with CARE that half a dozen of them, at least, members of CARE are in prison for terrorism-related actions. Half a dozen. Guys, it's not one. It's not two. It's not three. It's six, at least six. That right there damns them. And that's why I have a stand-in for CARE in my comic called YMF. YMFers, you motherfuckers. But it's actually your Muslim friends. Because it's such a evil name, CARE. CARE. We care. The Council for American Islamic Relations, right? No, no. It's only one way. And guys, also this one thing, guys. Mosques are blowing up in the West. Everywhere you go, every country, there all of a sudden more mosques than is needed. We don't have a large Muslim population in America. We have thousands of more mosques since 9/11. It's not justified. It's not. There are not enough Muslims to fill those mosques, right? Can you build a mosque in Saudi Arabia? In Mecca? Can Christians build churches? Can Jews build the synagogues? Can atheists build institutions there? No. It's a one-way street. That alone should be, if you want to talk in terms of shrewd politics, right? If that's a game you want to play, be the Trump administration. Say, okay, guys, no more mosques in America until there are churches and synagogues and institutions that are, that are non-religious in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca, in Iran, here, there. No more mosques anywhere in America until that happens. Meaning it's not going to happen. So good. So then there's no more mosques. But what I'm saying is you need to put it in their face and be shrewd about it. If that's a game you want to play. If you don't want to just say out with all mosques. If you want to be political and you want to be diplomatic, what you say is until there are mosques, until there are churches and synagogues and so on in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia, in the homeland, the birthplace of Islam, no more mosques here. And we're going to kick out the ones who are involved with any kind of terrorism. One act of terrorism from one member, you're out. We're gonna demolish that one and put a synagogue there. In particular, a synagogue. Lord Tapman, hey, Islam needs to be destroyed. No holding back. They all want us dead. Yes, that is the case. This is their calling. This is what their book tells them. This is what they tell us. Okay, I present this though. When people say, "Oh, at least Muslims are honest about it," no, they're not. No, they're not. Some of the dumber guys on YouTube say it all out, and then you get the other guys with more influence and more numbers. Oh, no, Islam is peace. Come on. I mean, we want to coexist. We don't like certain things, and they will lie about it. So they're not honest about it. Some of them are stupid about it, meaning they out themselves and Islam's cause and Muslims don't like it at all. They're like, shut the fuck up. We have to keep a lid on this until we're in power, you idiots. That's what they think. Lord Tapman says UK has to take back their country by force. Look, what has to happen is what's happening here. And no, it's interesting also. We're not given. There's a lot of frustration here, even with the Trump administration, from Americans. I'm still wait and see. They're like, nothing's changed completely. It's like, it's not going to happen overnight, guys. It's not. These things take a little time to make fundamental changes. It will take time. Dismantling this leftist communist machine takes a while. And then you got Trump doing stupid shit like having an iftar dinner, an Islamic iftar dinner in the White House the whole day. That's stupid. That's dumb. And then, of course, people say, oh, no, he's doing that to try to offset the idea that he supports Israel. Bullshit. He canceled the last one when he was president, before, in his first term. He canceled it. Don't have it in the White House. No, Muslims have done nothing to earn that. Zero. I don't like that shit. That's the pussy stuff that Trump does. And it's not good. It's a bad sign. At the same time, there's good stuff happening. When there's talk about the Department of Education being abolished, that's massive. When there's talk about the IRS being abolished, that's massive, guys. Because only through establishing these things and talking about them can they be done. If they're never talked about, you have to start with the idea first to establish it, to tell the truth about it, and then do it. You can't just do it. So the fact that it's being talked about, it's most likely going to try to be implemented. But we'll see. Flutterbat says Canada was even threatening to come down here to America and start arresting people for standing up to woke commie BS online. Is that true? Because I know that piece of shit commissioner in the UK threatened Americans with extradition. He wanted to extradite Americans who said things that they don't like to the UK to go to prison. And that's when I drew the fucker as Muhammad Hitler. I drew him with a turban and a Hitler mustache. And then I went on my channel and drew Muhammad as I was on the stream. And then also, what was, by the way, I was, check out Robert Spencer's Jihad Watch channel on YouTube. He had me on the other day. I asked him, if he could help, to spread the word out about Pigman. Also, if he could help me maybe contact others. And he goes, come on my show. I said, excellent, great. I want any kind of promotion that I can get. And Robert, I know him for a long time. Um, and it was really great. And then it was so cool at the end, before I left, he goes, last thing, can you draw Muhammad right now? I said, sure. So I did. I made a short 3-minute drawing of Muhammad, showed it on the air. It's just fun. It's, a guy like that, I gotta say, look, the guy has enough shit and he's still like, I don't care. Draw Muhammad. He actually requested it, so I did it live on the air. I think it's the first time I drew Muhammad live on the air, because the first time I did it on my channel was a recorded thing. I recorded as I was speaking stuff, but this time was live, so that was so cool. Check it out, guys. I have it in one of my playlists on my own channel. And guys, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. If you can follow me on X, those are my two. Well, X is my biggest channel, 26,400 people. I'm still growing. I'm 1,700 followers now on YouTube. I'm monetized now, which is great. So, guys, if you could follow it, if you can subscribe, if you could like this particular video right now, I would appreciate it. The algorithm breathes on that, works on that. So, thanks, guys. Yes, their whole existence is based on lies. Daniel, Darrell Harb, my friend. Yes, yes. What is it called? The world of war, the world of peace. I think they use a different, the home of peace, the home of war. Every single country, every single area, every single mind, if you want to take it, if you want to go all the way, that has not submitted to Islam, is at war with Islam. Every single individual who has not submitted to Islam is at war with Islam, according to Islam. What a conceit, huh? What a preposterous idea, but that's where we are. Unbelievable. And I probably got it wrong, but the Dar al Harb, the land of war, the land of peace, the home of war, the home of peace. Basically, the parts of the world that have not submitted yet, because in their mind, Islam owns the earth. And if you're not Islamic country, it's like you're renegades. You have to be fought to submit. That's it. As I'm going off here, guys, just want to show this beautiful art here. Look at this, guys. It's an old pilot in a ship, in a plane with an alien ship. And they take him up to their ship and fly off. Look at this, also unreal. Look at that. It's beautiful. Flutterbat says Christians can barely even worship Christ in our own country. If Kamala had gotten elected, all of us would be in the torture camps right now. I don't know if they would be that obvious that fast, but I know that in the end, you have to follow what they did. And what they did was they imprisoned 1,500 Americans for years in jail for being involved with something that broke out into a riot and broke out by not Trump supporters. Trump supporters in 8 years, however many long before it, never did any riots. Never, ever. All of a sudden, they're going to have riots? No, they're not. They're not. They had agent provocateurs dressed up as MAGA men and women, starting trouble, initiating the violence, cops doing that as well, Capitol cops, the police, the FBI. There were hundreds, according to some, hundreds put in there to fuck around, to start the mess. And they imprisoned these people to try to sell the idea that it was an actual insurrection. And I'm very happy that Trump said, fuck all of you, I'm going to release them. And of course, there's imperfections there, right, in the way it happened. And he gets contempt for it. I don't know, guys. Where we were to where we are, give the man a little break. Give him time, okay? And let's get serious here, guys. We got a serious mess to fix, and we need to give him a little more leeway, a little more time. It's only a few months into it, guys, so let's not be too impatient. I understand the frustration, I do, but Boombots says, would Pigman ever target Western politicians who betray their own countrymen? If so, how far would he go? It hasn't happened yet, but I do have politicians in there. I do have Obama submitting to the Saudis in there. I do have, Bush, Islam means peace. But if he knew that there was an actual, guy in bed with them, with the enemy, and it was proven to be that, well, yeah, he would do something about it. He wouldn't let that pass because he's part of the enemy. at war with us. And in some way, you could argue that they are, like Keir Starmer. He's a threat to the freedom of England. He's a threat to the country. He's a pro-Islam communist. That's what he is. If you draw Muhammad in England, they will probably arrest you and put you in jail for years. Years. The Lord Chapman says they will slowly infest our country, then try to outvote our way of life. That's their goal. It's their goal, Lord Chapman. And also, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the fat fuck, the Rosie O'Donnell of Al Qaeda, he said when he was caught, he was the mastermind of the actual technical attack on 9/11 with planes. You probably saw some American movie. You saw maybe Escape from New York where that plane flew into the building. Because these guys are, again, they're unoriginal fucks. They're also, there's a book called Islamikazis to say that these guys aren't even original for that at all. But one of their goals, their main goal actually, was to outproduce us, to have more Muslims than others in every country they go in. And they have a dozen kids sometimes. And you do that enough, you're going to get a voting block. And politicians want votes. They don't give a fuck who it is that gives them the votes. They don't give a shit, left or right. They're like, okay, fine. But they don't realize that at a certain point, it's only be Muslims who get voted in by them. Only Muslims, not your average politician, not leftist, not rightist, nothing. Only Muslims will get elected in those areas. This is part of their plan. This is a plan. And it's not just that jihadists will do it. The stealth jihadists will also do that. They might not necessarily technically kill, but they will try to infiltrate us, into our country and get on the levers of power. That's what they want. Flutterbass says, I didn't know he did that. Wow, that is fucked up. I'm sorry. Who are you referring to? Flutterbass? Oh, about Trump, yeah. Yeah, goddamn Islamic iftar didn't he all day? And he talked how great Islam is. Like, enough of this shit. Didn't you learn your fucking lesson? It pisses me off. And again, I'm going to call him out. I will praise him when he deserves it, and I will call him out when he deserves it. I don't play the game of, no, he must have some kind of good reason. No, there's no good reason to do that. Nothing. It gives the enemy hope. Having an iftar dinner in the White House gives them hope again. Like, holy shit, even with the Trump, we can get in there. Yeah. That's what they think. They don't think anything else. They don't think, oh, that's so kind of him. No, they're like, that fucking sap. We got him. That's what they think. We got to be smart. We got to be smarter than that. You can't be a dumb fuck like that. Clearly, there's some fucking idiots in the White House who make things like that happen. I don't think Trump is initiating it. I don't think so. But I know that, whoever did, he should look at askance and say, I don't think we're going to need you anymore. I don't think we need your services anymore here. Get them out of here. Flutterbest says, yep, he made the statement online. Look it up. Okay. Yeah, about Canada. Oh, man, that is horrific. Daniel Levin says, Jehovah watches where I found you. Robert is such a good man. Robert's a great man. He is. He's a good man, but he's also a great man. I know what you mean. He's the guy who knows his stuff, chapter and verse, and can articulate it like nobody on earth. I'm not just saying that to say that. It's a fact. I've never heard anyone discuss the issue of Islam and jihad in as articulate a way as Robert does. He's incredibly intelligent, incredibly learned, and his work will, in the end, spark the actual resistance that we need. Because we can have the greatest fighting force on earth, as we do have. Doesn't mean shit if those in power can't direct them in a proper way, can't actually call out Islam, who can't actually say, I'm going to have Robert Spencer as an advisor to me. Trump doesn't do that. That's a stain on Trump that he doesn't have Robert Spencer there as an advisor about Islam and jihad. It's a stain on him and on every president, but it's in particular Trump, because we expect better from Trump. So, Flutterbest says, yeah, this is how disgustingly arrogant they are. Yeah, that was the January 6th thing, right? I've read that, found out Pelosi set it up. Yeah, it was definitely set up. It was, and I know it's, the rats try to pretend, no, it was an insurrection. That's bullshit. Because the moment it was a little breakout, they called it insurrection. It's like, guys, you know nothing yet. So this is a complete setup here. I'm going to go back to this art here. There's no more comments, but I'm going to just show a little more here and there. Go back and forth with you guys. Thanks for being here, guys. Always appreciate your presence. Um, just showing this, guys. Look at this. I think this is 1930s, I believe. That's what it looks like to me. The cars. Baba Boone, an actor. And they say, Mr. Boone, we're set up for the chase scene today. Ready when you are, sir. So here he is in the middle right there. They're setting up a chase scene for a movie. I believe it took place in 1930s. And he's the sap who gets beaten up by his guys, but kicks back. And he's doing things that it's like, wait a minute, that's pretty wild for some small nerd to do. And then look, he goes there, like I showed you earlier. And then there's a little something strange here. It said, would Mr. Boone like a box lunch? He goes, you're new on the crew, Hal. No. Mr. Boone just rests during lunch break. Gosh, I can't blame him. Where does he get the energy? He's always on point, right? He doesn't eat. He lies. He sits down. And then here, guys, is a little clue here. Is a nail on his hand. Shouldn't be on there. It should fall off, but it's stuck there. Then he sees it, he notices it, takes it off, and sees that no one's looking. There's something strange about him. So here he is again, making these incredible action scenes. He's like the ultimate actor / stuntman. And then you realize he's a machine. Pretty well. He's an androbot, the perfect man, servile, capable of great physical and mental strength and dexterity, with all the timing sense, skill, and talent required to do the job for which he'd been programmed at birth 3 years ago to be Baba Boone. Pretty cool. Even this, guys, look at this. This could be just a plain looking thing here, but with the shadows, Toth kills it. The shadows makes this thing come alive. Beautiful. Look at this also. Bold blacks. Look at that. Something he does here. I don't know what he uses for that. It could be very tight felt tip markers. I know he used felt tip markers like the classic ones. But look at this. It's so beautiful. And it's a pretty scary stuff here. Even this, guys, just here he's using a little pencil, looks like charcoal shading. Look at the lighting there. The guy's profile of the woman there with the light coming from underneath. Look at that strong, sharp lighting. And even this, guys, like the tube socks. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at the way he draws a tube socks. I don't know. Things like that. It's just attention to detail. I love it. And they both get caught in there. It's pretty scary, man, some of the stuff here. Unfortunately, this is it was turned on the book, on the print version, it was turned to the right because you got to see the full shots on the full page here, but you don't get to see that here, unfortunately. But look at this art. And again, he lettered this as well, and this time he chose to go into square box lettering. He always changed it up. There's one of them here, guys, which is another way he did it, which is completely different and awesome. But this right here, I'm thinking when the train was coming in to Batman Year One in the opening, I'm thinking maybe Mescalate was inspired by that. And inspired, not copied because it's a completely different angle, but probably inspired because it's such a fine drawing. It's so authentically right, of its time, beautifully drawn, and it's just a great establishing shot. And look at that guy's face even, guys. I mean, look at this. Look how fantastic that is. Look at that woman, beautiful. Look at these guys. Look at the shading. It's fantastic. Thanks, Flutterbat. Yeah. Sorry, not thanks. By that, I mean, I love Toth, and I love to show his art out there. Some people don't know about him, and they're always learning about him, which is fantastic. I tend to forget that sometimes. I assume everyone knows who he is, but that's just not the case. And so by that I meant thanks that you're seeing this. I don't think if you've seen Toad before, great. I just don't think a lot of people have. That's a shame because to me he's the greatest comic book artist ever. Look at this, guys. This shot right here. Also, look at this. Everything about this. The heavy light up on top. Boom. The water there on the sidewalk. Look at this even. Just the man's shoes. While the whole conversation going on here. The man's walking there. Look at this. The incredible. Look at this. The close up there. The close up of the woman's nose and mouth while others are talking and she's listening in. This is very intelligent stuff, and it's not common stuff. Look at these guys. Look at the eyes on that. Man, everything about this is just absolutely beautiful. Look at this. Man, you don't find this type of art in comics today. You just don't. Okay, this is one that I was mentioning here in terms of another one written by Archie Goodwin and drawn by Toth. And this is where Toth, check out his lettering here. He went completely different now. He made full circles, right, guys? He made full circles, but instead of having the Audi hook for the word balloon that goes towards the mouth, he turned it inside the actual circle. Look at this, the balloon. Look at that. It all turns towards him. Look at this. Now, for some reason, those lines went that way, even though they should have went towards the mouth. I don't know why they went that way. It's interesting because they're all going here towards the mouths of the characters. Toth should have just went like there, fine, and then there, and there, and there. He should have kept going there, but whatever. The point is that he was trying to. It's just a brilliant way, I think, of doing it. It's also good. It saves a little time. It saves a little space as well. Beautiful. Just, endlessly innovative. Toth. Endlessly innovative. And this one was pure black and white. The old ones were gray wash, a lot of them. This is pure black and white, and it's just as valid, just as good. Different, but just as good. And again, I'm not going to read these. I'm just going through them, just showing the art here. And look at this. Look at the naturalistic bodies, the wrinkles, the way that guy's walking right there. Very easy going. Look at a guy putting on his shoes there. I don't know. It's just incredible. Look at this also. This guy just found out he's dying. So it was them out almost every day. Mindless, idle twits, wasting time, lives. You got this young couple dancing as they're rollerblading. And he goes, if all they can do is squander time, they deserve no more of it. This is a bitter guy. A few thugs at the trigger. Look at this. A few tugs at the trigger would finish them. I mean, this guy is so incensed about learning that he's going to die, that he wants to kill people over it. And I could die knowing that a few less fools would survive me. But even if I killed them all, it would still leave the rest, hundreds, thousands, millions of them, who might be even worse than this lot of wastrels. Damn you all, damn you. Look at this. And then he just starts to cry. He doesn't do it, fortunately. And then there's something here that he does. He does something even worse. You guys got to check this out. It's worth reading, worth experiencing on your own. Oh, Andrews, I'll be showing Mr. Sims out now. It's close to 5 o'clock. I suppose you'll be leaving soon, too? Yes, Dr. Burnett. I believe I've accomplished all I had to do for today. Left alone, John Andrews uncorks a smallpox vial. Look at this. And walks to the lab's shower room. All in all, Sims thinks it hadn't gone too badly. The old boy was miffed about his shiny new laboratory being delayed in the building, but he obviously could be browbeaten into waiting. But as for his own plans that night, Right after the banquet, I'll fly back to Washington, tell the president about all this in person, and maybe score a few points. So he walks away. He had a vial of smallpox, put it in there. He goes, Dr. Barnett, watching the government limousine drive off with Mr. Sims, misses seeing his lab aide, John Andrews, leaves the disease study center. For the first time since yesterday's bad news at his doctor's office, John Andrews smiles. He must still die in a few months, but there will soon be a lot of fools in the world with much less than that. So it's pretty dark. This one is Toth just inking this one. It's interesting to see Toth only inking. Roger McKenzie wrote it, who wrote Daredevil. For Miller's first 10 issues of Daredevil, he wrote Roger McKenzie. And also penciled by Leo Doranone and inked by Alex Toth. So it looks like Alex Toth. It's nicely drawn, nicely designed also. I mean, this guy's definitely a good artist, but Toth just, pushed a little further. Pretty damn good. A little different for his inking. I guess he followed the penciler there as well. Look at this also, guys. Okay, so this is another artist, Leo Sommers, penciled and inked by Toth. Another interesting. Look at this. Toth just he did what Eric July says that his inkers do for the artists. He elevated it, actually elevated it, and a great gray wash as well, which I believe Toth did do, because Toth inked it, so he did all the finished work here, and it's damn good. Nice contrast here between the two. Also, the guy's in gray wash with the white eyes, and that guy is there. Look at this. Look at that. All those knives in the back of that woman. My God. That's a brutal murder. Look at this also, this diseased figure. That is damn good. Another interesting, this is the third one. Wow. The third story that Toth only inked. Alexis Romeo. Penciled and inked by Alex Toth, but it's fine work. Really nicely done. Beautiful woman. The angles there are fantastic. The silhouettes are great. Look at this, guys. All these circles, and look at that. I love that. I love the silhouettes that are broken up by a little light. Like it's the lights, boom, hitting the top clearly. The top here, boom. So there's white there, and there's white on the top of his jacket. But everything else is silhouette. It's just very, very strong. Very strong. Thanks for indulging me, guys. I just want to go through this art. I just love it. And again, I can talk about anything you guys want. That's up to you. You guys just chat me up, and we'll go from there. Look at this. This is the fourth one. Are you guys? I didn't know that there were this many. I thought it was maybe two. Carmine Infantino, who I do not like. I did not like his art. He always made faces way too wide and flat, like pancakes for some reason, and bodies also. I'm thinking he must have put the art on a flat board and was drawn from an angle where he didn't get to see it head on. My art table is almost exactly aligned with my head when I'm looking at it, I can see it exactly as it's actually seen. I'm thinking Carmine Infantino, some other artist, maybe Gene Colan also had this warped look about his art. I'm thinking they did something where they drew on flat tables. I like to find out for sure. I don't know that, but it's interesting as hell to see Infantino inked by Toth. It's very interesting to me because I didn't know that Infantino did this. I did not know that, but it's damn effective. And seeing Toth ink him is like, wow. That was a very, very short one. This one is great. This is pure Toth here. Archie Goodwin and Alex Toth. Look what he did here also, guys. That's some kind of broken marker. That's what it looks like to me. Not a brush, like a broken marker. Daniel Levin says new Daredevil show is crap, and fan favorite Kamala Khan's father is in it. They are really shoehorning her, and most people hate. I mean, look, man, I love the Daredevil show. I love Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again is hands down Miller's greatest story. I did a review of that, guys, if you haven't seen it on YouTube, and also Batman Year One, which would Frank Miller, Dave Mazzucchelli, both of them 6 months apart. Um, I'm trying to watch it. I like elements of it, but God damn it, episode 5, I think you got a bank episode. I guess they couldn't afford anything more of that episode. It's all about a bank and the robbery, and of course, they're not Muslims or anything else. They're some Irish guys, right? And you have Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel, the Muslim superhero's father there, the nicest guy in the whole world, the most warmest, oh, he's so kind, he's so friendly, and he's so afraid of everyone, you know. And then he talks up his daughter four times, guys. And Daredevil at one point, as Matt Murdock goes, the famous Kamala, the what? You know why she's in there, Daniel and others? Because the bitch who co-created her, Anna Sana Amanat, I believe her name is, a Muslim who wears a terrorist scarf at conventions, the Arafag scarf from quote unquote Palestine. She wears that at conventions, which is known as to be a terrorist scarf. Nothing less than that. It's a symbol of terrorism. That bitch wears that. And she had a falling out with Marvel Comics, some capacity, some kind of scandal having to do with a relationship. And I believe it was her fault. Instead of firing her for good, the whores at Marvel, the company, said, shit, let's just move her to Marvel Studios. Let's move her there. So she's infiltrated the Daredevil show and shoehorned in her character. Yeah, for reasons to shove Islam in there, but also for a buck. Because she, I believe, co-owns the character. At least she gets some kind of residuals, let's say. So she had to shove her in there over and over again in that episode. And now, Matt Murdock agreed to go to dinner. Why? Why? To the Kamala's Khan's to Khan's home. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. So yeah, there was no mention of the bullshit in the latest episode. I'm not even sure if there will be. I hope there isn't, but that bitch is gonna make sure that there is. So it probably will happen. And again, guys, the origin of Kamala Khan in Marvel is this. This is the way I see it. That activist Muslim bitch, Sana Amanat, went to the communist editors, the pussies in there, told them that we need like a Muslim superhero. And you think they said no? They said, yeah, okay, sure. And once she's in there, they can't get her out, meaning they're such cowards that they will cancel comic books about gay superheroes, black superheroes, female superheroes, except they won't cancel a Muslim superhero. Now, all her comics failed. All her 4, 5, 6 series failed. She keeps coming back. And their last act, the last desperate act they did to try and make her a thing after 13 years, 12 years, is have her die in Spider-Man's arms, and Spider-Man loses his shit over it. It's like, you don't even know her. Why, doesn't he didn't lose his shit over Gwen Stacy dying. Why would he lose his shit over Kamala Khan screaming, ah? He didn't do that when Gwen Stacy was killed in his arms. And so she's dead. And then they brought her back as a mutant all of a sudden. All of a sudden she's a mutant. Why? So she can go to the most popular team in Marvel, the X-Men, and she can end up in the movies. That's why. In perpetuity, they want her out there. No matter how unpopular she is, no matter the fact that over 200,000 human beings have been murdered in the name of Islam since she debuted in Marvel. That's a fact, guys. The movie she was in, bombed. The worst Marvel bomb ever. Her series, the least watched. And they said, yeah, but it's the most highly critiqued, as in high critic ratings. Why do you think, guys? You think the coward communists are gonna trash a show about Muslims, or at least be honest about it? No, they can say it's great, and if I don't say it's great, they might kill me. So that's why they do it. But look at this art, guys. Look at this from Alex Toth. It's a desperate world, the end of the world here. And this guy sees someone, and he thinks that they're trying to take his stuff. So he takes that person, hits him on the head, kills them, and then finds out it's a woman and loses it. It was just a woman. She wasn't looking for any trouble or anything. She wasn't some kind of thief. And look at this also. Another one. Flutterbat said, "This is why I don't watch anything modern one way or another. These far left Nazis will always find a way to inject their poison to sort." Yeah, that's their thing. That's their goal. They cannot, it's not that they can't help themselves. It's just that's their mission, guys, to Islamize everything, to Nazify everything, to communize everything. That's their mission. Um, they're so unsure about the value of what they profess to believe in that they have to shove it in everything. They have to dominate everything with it. They cannot just stand on the side and have an equal time. Meaning you guys, you got your thing. We'll live and let live. No, they have to try to dominate and wipe out everything. And the part of it is this: these are evil ideologies. Evil. That's why I call them communazis. It's the same shit. Fascists, National Socialists, which were Nazis, which are, that's the name, the nickname they give, but it's actual National Socialists. These are socialists. Fascists are socialists. Communists are socialists. All these guys, right? They're all the same shit. They all want to shove their ideology, and the only difference between them is this: they want to be in control. Meaning Hitler wanted his form of socialism to be the dominant one. Stalin wanted his. The fascists wanted theirs, and so on. And my example is this, and it's a damn good one, if I do say so myself, and it's something I've used for years. It's the same thing. You got the people, whenever the leftist tells you, "Hey man, the communists and the Nazis hate each other, they kill each other." Yeah, the Muslim Shiites and the Muslim Sunnis hate each other and kill each other as well. They're Muslims. And the reason why they do that is to try to say, we're the real Muslims. You guys are the fake ones. And that's the same thing that the Nazis and the communists thought about the other. We're the real, true believers, guys. You guys are the pussies. That's the idea there. This is good stuff, man. The way he makes these executives. Look at this. It's so damn good. Such a classic art here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. What a hell of a piece here. Overhead shot. Everything is just made beautifully. Look at this. Guy's crumpling that paper there. He throws it. He's pissed off. They can't quite get what he needs. And then he goes to this one architect, this genius, and he plays a little hardball, murder ball, really. Throws guy over the. Daryl is lying. We have a liar here, by the way. This Daryl, this socialist, leftist who wants to do what leftists have done for the last 70 years, which try to get, the stench of Hitler off their side. He's your guy. He lies. This is what leftists always do. Leftists, by the way, they never laugh off when I call them communazis. They get incensed. Why? Because it's true. Like this guy, Daryl, and he'll say he's not and this and that. Anyone who comes to defend that is a socialist, is a leftist. He goes, no, Hitler used socialists in the name to get support from the Socialist Party. This is the same thing that they said about Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden uses Islam to get Muslims on his side. It's like, what? So you're a liar and you're out. You get one shot. You lie like that, you're out. You are out. You get no shots here. You lie, you try to spread that propaganda, you're out. I can handle disagreement. I can handle things. Flat out lies, fuck out of here. Um, Jimmy said, "Wow, what a dumb move by Marvel to allow the Miss Marvel character to still be inserted." Yep, they can't. They're cowards. The communists. They are. They will always bend over for the Muslims until. I mean, look, guys. What happened to the communists in Iran pre-revolutionary in 1979? What happened to them, guys? There was a movement. It was an actual movement of communists out there. What happened to them? Killed, converted, imprisoned. Forced conversion, killed, or imprisoned. That's it. That's the word. By the way, again, this Daryl, a liar, is going to claim, and others might even too. Hey, man, do you believe in free speech? Guys, you're going to spread lies here. You're out. That's it. Again, we can disagree, and I disagree with a lot of people. I disagree with my best friends. I disagree with everyone. Ultimately, I mean, in matters of importance and it's going to happen. You come here and lie and spread propaganda, you're out. You're out. I don't allow it. Not on my platform. Absolutely not. You do it on your own. And that's why people say, you don't believe it. No, no, no. You can spread your lies anywhere you want. Just not here when I know the truth. And I know that you're spreading propaganda, and I know that you're lying. Because that's what the left has said about Muslims for decades now. No, no, no. Osama bin Laden used Islam. It's like, no, no. Osama bin Laden personifies Islam. Hitler personified socialism. He loved Marx. It's a lie, a complete lie. So you can come here, you can say, Bosh, I disagree, go for it, and we can go back and forth. You come here and try to propagandize and lie, you're out. I will not allow it. I won't. Not about Islam, not about communism, not about Nazism, National Socialism, which is what it actually is. And guys, keep this in mind also. This Daryl, piece of shit, and others like that, they will never call National Socialism National Socialism, ever. They'll always call it Nazism, which is not what Hitler called it, which is not what Nazis called it. They called it National Socialism. They were socialists. They were for gun control. They were for, quote unquote, universal health care. They were against free speech. They were against capitalism, against liberty, against every individual rights. And like all socialists, they hate Jews. Like all socialists, the Nazis hated Jews, the National Socialists. Like all socialists, they all hate Jews. This is one of Toth's most beloved stories here, Daddy and the Pie. And there's a reason why. It's a beautiful piece of work. It's beautiful. And again, there's another story that Dave Mazzucchelli did, The Big Guy. It was called, which was reminiscent of this. And again, he doesn't have to swipe him. Dave Mazzucchelli is such a great artist, doesn't have to swipe him, but you could tell that there's influence there. And I think he downplays the influence of Toth, to be blunt. I think he does. I think he played a little ignorant about it early on. You look at Batman Year One, that's Toth's finished line. It really is. He clearly looked at Toth, and you see Daddy in the Pie and the Big Guy. Read that, read this, and then tell me that there's no connection there. Differences, sure, but he's such a great artist that it's like, okay, he doesn't have to rip him off, but he's clearly inspired by him, more so than I think he lets on. It's unfortunate because, just be honest about it. I wear my influences on my sleeve. Frank Miller, writing, Toth, art. I mean, I don't pretend otherwise. Without those guys' work, I wouldn't be a cartoonist. I just wouldn't. Look at this art here, guys. You got this interesting looking alien that Toth drew. Black and then white within. There's two straight lines for his nose. It looks like an outlet. His fingers, look at that, guys. The straight lines there instead of nails. I love those little differences there. He has a very long body. These ears, which a little dot line as well. I just love the simplicity of that design. It's beautiful. And it's so funny. Who was it? There was one artist in one of the magazines that I was reading through in one of my early videos for Toth. Guys, look at this also. Look at the differentiation of the panels. Look at this. These tall panels here, and this panel here, guys. This one right here. Someone saw the original art, and it could have been Mark Chirillo, who ended up being the art director at DC, who's a great guy, by the way, and who tolerates me over the years. I was a little presumptuous in my contacting him at first, and but he's been nothing but very cool, always getting back to me, politics aside. Very cool. He was a great friend with Toth, and he also called Toth an asshole in the Simplicity movie. He goes, he was being an asshole, you know. He goes, we fought, we argued this and that, but he still knows, Mark Ruffalo, that Toth is the greatest. Same thing about Michael Jordan. You know, people say, oh, he was an asshole, but they don't deny it. I say, yeah, you call him asshole, but you also call him the greatest, right? Yeah. Anyway, this panel right here, Mark Ruffalo said that it could, I believe it was Mark Ruffalo. Could have been Paul Ravoche too, who's also friends with Toth, which is incredible. I mean, man, I had correspondence with Toth only through letters and postcards. These guys knew him personally. They went to conventions with him. But guys, this panel right here, Toth had drawn everything under the table, everything, the pant leg, all the table legs, the chair legs, everything, right? The floor, and just blocked it out. And he goes, you can tell because once you see the original art, you see all the detail. He goes, yeah, this is not a guy looking to show off. This is a guy looking to tell a story. And he goes, for that, I wanted to focus on that map. That was the focus, not on what's underneath. Let me focus on that. Everything else can go by the wayside. It's awesome. I just love that. And this also, guys, this gadget here, it's a flowing, a glowing ball. And again, that design is brilliant. And they humanize him by wearing human clothing here. This guy is starting to pick a fight with the guy. The guy just flips him. He becomes a worker, this alien. He puts on his alien suit. And it doesn't quite work out. Yeah, it's worth reading, guys. I don't want to give up, but I don't want to give it away, but it's just worth reading. It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful story. So well told. Look at the bodies of this family here, guys. Look at that leg is straight. It's tense. Of the father here. Look at the mother holding the kid. So damn good. This is a pretty brutal one for Toth. Toth was a pretty simple conservative, ideologically speaking. Listened to Rush Limbaugh and all that. He was right wing, clearly. And he drew this pretty brutal murder short story of the hacker. But again, this is just great stuff here, guys. Look at this. This whole backdrop of this page has a silhouette of the hacker. Hey, Diana. Hi, Bosch. I love that you draw Muhammad with the Hitler mustache and you're still among the land of the living to continue drawing Islam's favorite infidel. Indeed. I'm still here 20 years later. I first started drawing Muhammad 20 years ago, 2005, after the Danish Muhammad cartoonists were threatened with death. Being raised, a Muslim, I didn't know that there was a prohibition against it. Yeah, Flutterbat. Yeah, the artwork in this is insanely good. It's just beautiful. This is Alex Toth. Again, I believe it is 1970s work. I believe it is everything about this. The cross-hatching here is something that Toth rarely did, but man, how effective it is. And then, because he's doing gray wash here as well as cross-hatching, which is interesting. Usually it's one or the other. Usually the gray wash people do that, only that. But here he is, putting the gray wash and cross-hatching, which is very interesting. And then use a thin pen for the top of that table to make it shiny. A thin pen. And look at this, guys, also. Just a little thing here. I know artists a lot of times want to show off how much detail they put in. Fine. Make these characters all unique looking and then just to suggest the rest. There's no need to have every single detail back there, way back there, because we're focused on the people in the foreground. Those don't matter as much in this moment. Look at this also. The hacker. That's some brutal stuff here, and it looks like he's cooking it too. Again, I love the fact that Toth, you know, he's not a brutalist guy. He's not. So he says, okay, I'll do this, but I'm going to put it in silhouettes. I'm going to stylize it a little more. I'm not going to show the brutality as much. And here we go with another, again, cross-hatching, which something rarely did. It's so interesting to see him doing that. That's something that Al Williamson did a lot, and also just straight lines. Also, he didn't do for his inking over John Romita Jr. and Daredevil. He did just the straight lines going one way. He didn't do actual cross-hatching. He just did the straight lines, which were very effective, atmospheric wise, very effective. And this also, these little lines here, the guy's eyes right here, the main character. Look at him bulging out. It really works. Um, and then there's a follow-up to this as well. That's an interesting choice. I don't think it works necessarily, to be honest. Um, whatever reason, it looks a little more stiffer than his usual work. But it's an interesting. Again, he was willing to take the risk, and that's why I'm like, okay, I'll live with that. Even though I don't necessarily love the way that coat looks, but it's just interesting that he would go there because it looks like he was using some kind of side of a pencil. That's what it looks like to me, at least. And he's just blocking the guy's death blow right there. And then here's a follow-up to the hacker story. Um, look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at the line work here. Look at the strong blacks. Everything is dominated by black here. Look at this. Even the lettering is just to stand out to white against the black, which is fantastic. I did that as well in table of one for certain for choice things. Um, look at this. Look at the gray wash that Toth does. Even that guy, guys, the guy is walking up the steps there. The movement, the energy there. Even the back of the look at the back of this guy right here. The dominant, confident line work here. Look at that. Beautiful. The light here going darker as we go. Give form to those bricks. Darker and darker until it's all black. Look at this guy. Look at that. Look at that bit player. And Toth gave him all the character possible. Look at his big ears, the short upper lip, the big jutting chin. And you got this horror here. Get out of it, McSorley, or I'll lay you open here now. And she gets murdered by the hacker. And look at this also, guys. Or that's the same woman, is it? I thought she was murdered. Maybe it's another one. Look at this, though. The guy looks like he's walking drunk. Look at these guys. Those strong blacks. And look at this, guys. All these beheadings. Look at that. They're all put in boxes here. Look at that. Boom. Incredible. Here's an encounter here. Wow. Again, look at these blacks. Top lighting there, making that lighter. Everything here. It's very important to do that. Just keep it in mind. To keep in mind where the light is coming from. Very important. You got this like interesting also like radial lines in terms of the panels. Dead center, boom, 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 coming through everyone there. That's a wild choice also. He finally gets that guy. Look at that. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate it. Um, probably Flutterbat, yeah. Probably. That's what it looks like to me as well. Plus, it was in England. You could tell by the language and the way he drew the characters also in the 1800s. Um, good stuff. I guess they didn't have the rights, or if there are any rights to that story, who knows? Maybe someone established it. Credit wise, who knows? After a time, he named it. I don't know how that works, but it could be interesting to find that out. But thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate it. You guys be well. It says your Tucker and Chink pics are masterfully done. I can't stop laughing. Thanks, man. Yeah, those assholes deserve it, and they deserve each other. Chink and Tucker. They're just as bad, really. I mean, in one sense, they're both anti-Israel. They're both anti-American. I know Tucker's supposed to be Mr. America. The biggest sign against Tucker to me when I first smelled him as a rat, I was like, he was talking shit about capitalism. I was like, yeah, that's a problem. And I don't want to hear people, well, you're talking about crony capitalism. There's no such thing, guys. You got capitalism or you have something else, or socialism. It's not that middle ground. No, it's not. How about state capitalism? The dummy, Steve Bannon talks about that. State capitalism. Dummy, that's not capitalism. That's socialism. That's fascism. That's not capitalism. They're always trying to take down capitalism, some on the right. And there's something about it. They feel morally wrong in supporting capitalism. Don't. It's the only way, the only true, actually freedom-based economical system in the world. The only one that actually acknowledges the individual and wants them to flourish in the world. It doesn't want them to in a lot of ways. So once I heard that, I was like, okay, this guy, first of all, that's a big, major sign against him. And then on top of that, now he ends up being a mouthpiece for Islam. He goes to Islamic countries. He calls Muslim leaders the greatest leaders he's ever known. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? He goes to Moscow and says, this is greater than any city in America. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he has every anti-American scumbag, anti-Western scumbag on his shows. Anti-Israel, anti-American, anti-Churchill, pro-Hitler. It's not an exaggeration, guys. Yeah, he had it. Guys, remember when Tucker tried to sell that historian as he's the world's greatest historian? No, he's not. You're trying to sell him as such. You're trying to make him such. He thinks he has enough pull to make him. Everyone knows. Everyone does know the guy, and everyone knows that didn't work, which is awesome. But that guy was trying to say that Churchill was a real villain of World War II, and then of course it trickles down from that idiot to the other idiot, Dave Smith, the comedian, who again also believes every terrible thing about America, hates Israel, will support Hamas, will support quote unquote Palestine. You can't support Palestine without supporting Hamas. It's impossible. They link themselves, and therefore you have to link them as well. Darryl Cooper, thanks Daniel. Darryl Cooper, that's the greatest historian. Complete lie. He tried to make him. Tucker Carlson fancies himself some kind of kingmaker, right? So he's like, I'm going to make this guy the greatest historian because I'll just say it. Didn't work, which is comical. It's laugh out loud. It's just funny. And then, Tucker, I'll make the case also, guys. After the atrocity of October 7th, he was asked about the atrocity. I said this before, but if you haven't heard me, he was asked about it on some show. He goes, I'm America first, It's like, yeah, you can be America first and say that was a horrific attack. You can do that, right? Unless you're anti-Jew and anti-Israel, anti-civilization, to be blunt, because Israel's enemy is our enemy. It's the same shit. Hezbollah has murdered Americans, kidnapped Americans. If you're America first, why don't you say anything about that? Why didn't you say anything against that? Why didn't you say anything about the jihadists who killed Americans in New Orleans near New Year's Day? Why not? Tucker, because he's busy going to Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and trashing America and propping up Islam and saying, it's about the sincerity of the feeling. That's what matters. No, dummy, because their sincere feelings can lead to slaughtering innocents. And they're sincere about it. You don't question the sincerity of jihadists, but that doesn't mean anything. That's not a good thing. They sincerely want to kill us. That's good because of their sincerity. What an asshole. Anyway, the point is that he was asked about October 7th, after October 7th, and said, I'm shocked that Americans were so emotional about this, I'm just shocked about it. He's such a fruity guy also, if you know him. He's not a man. He's not masculine. No man cackles like a little girl. And I mean, I don't know how he gets away with it. I don't know, but people, it's unseemly. It's like, why are you cackling like a little girl, like a 13-year-old girl? Why? You're worse than Kamala. I mean, he's worse than Kamala because he's supposed to be a man, cackling the way she does. So what happened is that in order to try to edge away from saying that it was a horrific attack, he goes, "I'm America first. That's my focus." What does he proceed to do? He proceeds to go to a global tour, everywhere except Israel. And I'm not joking. He went everywhere except Israel. And it's like, that's not really American. That's not America first, going everywhere except Israel, going to South America, going to Europe, going to Russia, going to Islamic countries, hellholes. So this guy, he's up to no good. He's trying to prop up bad guys. Um, he's no damn good. He's a piece of shit. So I'm glad he's exposed himself. Absolutely flat bad. He's a creepy guy. He has that really damning laugh. I gotta say, no man laughs like that. No man. That's why I post out there. I said worst cackle, Tucker's or Kamala's. And usually it's a dead heat, you know. Um, but people for political bias will probably vote for Kamala more. But guys, he's not a friend of America. He's not. He is completely indifferent to the atrocities that Muslims commit. That's not. It's not. He's not just American about it. He's not human about it. You know, you're gonna let that go without you condemning it. You are inhuman. You're on the side of the inhumans. Yeah. Dano says, in him, Tucker and Candace call all Republicans that they don't like neocons. Yeah, and now that whore Candace is calling Trump owned by, he's compromised now, right? Israel owns the White House. It's like, so I made note of it. I'm like, okay, so since Israel owns the White House, why is Trump having Islamic iftar dinners at the White House? You know, it's a simple question. I'm just asking questions, right, Candace? And Tucker? I'm just asking questions. And also, guys, question. When you find out that Tucker is propped up by this millionaire Muslim for his media company, why does Tucker need a Muslim's money when he's independently wealthy? Why does he need $15 million at least? At least. You know it's more. Because you know why he's going to the Islamic world also. He's getting paid. He's not there doing speeches for free. He's not there hanging out with these guys for free. He's not. He's getting paid for it. But why does he have a Muslim, a lifetime Democrat, Muslim from Pakistan, funding his media company? I know why the Muslim's doing it. The Muslim's doing it to make sure that Tucker doesn't get out of line and just talk shit about Israel and America, doesn't say a word against Islam. That's why he's doing it. But why is Tucker doing it? Is a question. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need that. He's independently wealthy. He was born rich. He was born to a rich family. He's a rich guy. And on top of that, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars being a media whore for 30 years. And by the way, guys, keep in mind also, he was working at CNN, MSNBC. He's a media whore. He got a little more conservative when he worked for Fox, and now he's out of Fox, he's less conservative. He's a whore who follows whatever he thinks is most profitable at any given time. Right now, he thinks the Islamic world, yeah, I think that's the way to go, yeah. No, it's not. Terrible. Anyway, I appreciate your time here, guys. Thanks for giving take, and thanks for checking out this incredible work by Alex Toth. It's worth getting, guys. It's available, digitally on Kindle, Comixology, Amazon, and also in print, hardcover. I got a hardcover as well. You take care, guys. Be well. Thank you very much. Until next time. Thank you.